You're all here because you value your privacy, and actually in recent times it's been getting more difficult to get onboarded to Bitcoin or like sell your Bitcoin without going through certain processes like KYC, and it's actually a big hindrance in onboarding new people as well to Bitcoin. So when I first got into it years ago, you used to be able to just go onto a website like localbitcoins.com and you could just set up like cash trades there with people, or like trades where you just deposit into some random person's bank account on the internet, and then you would instantly get Bitcoin at that point in time. But since then, a lot of regulation has come through and things like this, which have basically destroyed those systems and they're no longer useful. But there are new systems that have come out, and basically these ones are bypassing the existing laws. So the laws will need to catch up if they want to be able to continue doing what they're doing now, because people have developed new tools and technologies which are completely bypassing this.
Hayden, are you able to use the microphone to use the smaller system? Does it work?
I'm recording on this here.
Oh, I see.
Yep. So it's all good, but basically I just wanted to demonstrate some of these tools to you guys today. You might not be aware of them, you may be aware of them. I'll show you how it works and how easy and how simple it is to use. And these are really great for keeping your transactions private. Basically, whatever you do is your business only, it's no one else's. So also obfuscating the origin of funds is really important, because there are companies that are specializing in doing things like blockchain analysis, and they are able to work out where funds are coming from and also link Bitcoin wallets to certain identities and things like that. And this is mainly coming from the places where people are verifying their identity on exchanges and stuff like that, because all that data is shared with certain government agencies and probably other entities as well. So this will basically help you work out how to avoid that kind of thing happening. So first of all, Bitcoin is meant to be electronic cash used for a means of exchange, and it's important that it functions like cash. So one important quality of cash is that it's fungible, which means that basically every $50 note that you receive is just like any other $50 note. It's not tainted in any way. And this is also a valuable quality to have for Bitcoin UTXOs. You may notice every now and again, like an exchange gets hacked or something like this, and then they mark these coins and like, oh, we're going to block these coins from coming through the exchange and stuff like that. Well, at the end of the day, if your security was shit and you got hacked, that's your fault. And there's no reason to be like blocking these funds, essentially. So every coin needs to be pretty much the same as every other coin. It doesn't matter where it's come from. It doesn't matter what it's been used to purchase in the past. And that shouldn't be tainting coins. So basically also privacy is important, because you don't want people to know how much you hold. So if you're transacting with someone, buying goods or services at a store, potentially they could just go onto the blockchain and look at where these funds originated from, and they can see other wallets that are linked to your identity. And if you're in a shop, like, they've obviously seen who you are, they see your face and things like this. So there are other methods through which you can help eliminate any fears from that kind of thing. And all these exchanges, as I mentioned, they're sharing all their data now with agencies. So if you're going over, like, I think in Australia you can do up to $10,000 a year worth of Bitcoin related or crypto related transactions before some red flags are raised. All this data is like being shared, and they'll know if you are going over that. Like if you're cashing out or buying more than that, they'll probably know and chase up with you later. And as I mentioned earlier, KYC is a huge hindrance to adoption. It's just like making it far too difficult for many people to get involved in Bitcoin. It used to be very simple, but now it is overcomplicated, and that's probably deterring a lot of them from getting involved in cryptocurrency. As I mentioned, Local Bitcoins was a great place to go and buy Bitcoins. This is where I got my first Bitcoins back in like 2016. But basically, since then, it has become pretty much unusable for a number of reasons. Firstly, they don't support Bitcoin Cash, which is an upgraded version of Bitcoin essentially that is dealing, it's able to actually scale, and they are, well, there's no need for high fees or slow transactions and unreliability. The fees are consistently less than a cent every time. There's no need to like go and spend any more than this to get your transaction processed. So basically when people are buying through this website, the buyers or sellers are setting their own rates, and it could be like 7% higher than actual market rate or 5%, it depends on the seller, but most of them are in that range. And in addition to, well, as soon as you put up like $100 to purchase some coins, you lose 7% to that, for example. And then with the high cost of transacting BTC, you're going to lose even more. And just recently, the fees on average were at $6 for a transaction on BTC. So if you bought $100 and then you paid $6 US, that's like nearly 10 bucks and the 7%. So you're not getting anywhere near the money that you're putting up anymore. Another downside to this service is the fact that it's custodial, so you don't get any control over private keys. There are technologies now which are, well, we see exchanges and things like this getting hacked, so it's very important that these platforms are decentralized and you are retaining ownership over your funds instead of it being in access of someone else, because it introduces that element of trust. The forced KYC was really annoying as well. Probably a lot of people stopped using this platform when that was introduced. And they also recently removed in-person cash trades, so that's probably a way that you could have gotten around the KYC until they recently removed it. So pretty much at the same time when they removed the cash trades, there was a new platform that launched on bitcoin.com. So they call it local.bitcoin.com, and basically it's the exact same platform, but this one functions a lot differently. You can see here in the table what the differences are between local.bitcoin.com and localbitcoins.com. Basically, it's just a lot more desirable because of everything that's checked there over on the left-hand side, including the fact there's no KYC. It's non-custodial, meaning you don't have to trust the exchange to like handle the escrow or anything like that. This is all done through a smart contract and what they call an oracle. And also it goes even further than that, and they can't even see what is in the escrow, like what amount of funds are in the escrow. So they're blind to all this stuff going on. And of course it's got end-to-end chat encryption, so they don't know what you're discussing with the buyer or seller, and low transaction fees because it's using Bitcoin Cash. So this has been going for like 1 month, and apparently they've got over 25,000 active users at the moment, which is pretty good. So there's now a lot more liquidity on there than there was at the beginning, and it's growing like every day. So this is just a description of how the blind escrow script works. Basically, this is possible because of a new OP code that was added to Bitcoin Cash at the end of last year. There was actually a lot of opposition to this OP code being added. It's called OP Check Data SIG. And in particular, there was the group that split away called BSV. They were all really opposing this for some reason, but as we can see now, this actually has a lot of useful applications, and it's a benefit that's something that's adding value to the overall coin. And this is just the beginning. This is like just the first group of people that have found something cool that they can do with this. The potential for that goes much further. And yeah, there's more explanation about how this really works on their website if you want to delve into that. So many people may not be a fan of Bitcoin Cash. Well, since this is basically the only service now where people can legally, because they're bypassing the current laws, it's basically the responsibility of the buyers or sellers who are advertising their trades to KYC the customer. It's not local Bitcoin because they're never actually in possession of any of these funds. So this is going to be like the best place for anyone in the crypto space to go and onboard to crypto. And if you don't like Bitcoin Cash, they're just probably going to go and sell it for the asset they do want. But this is the best entry and exit place at the moment. Pretty much all the other entry and exit places for the crypto market are now forcing KYC. And sideshift.ai is a good service that launched relatively recently, maybe 6 months ago. So if you heard of Shapeshift, it's basically the exact same thing. It swaps your coins, so you can say, oh, I want to send some Bitcoin Cash and receive some Ethereum, for example. And then it just gives you a QR code and you deposit however much you want to exchange. And the rates are really good. And there's no KYC. Did I mention that part? Because, no KYC. The fees are actually more competitive though than Shapeshift, which has implemented KYC as well. So they actually have a thing at the bottom of the website, which is comparing the fee to their competitor. And
Could they use Binance to do that or something? Because that doesn't have KYC. You can use fiat.
well, if you're saying, can you transfer from Binance to this to swap another coin?
Buy your Bitcoin Cash and then send it to Binance, say, on a non-KYC account.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can do that. There are certain limits though. It depends on what you want to do. But through using this method, there's actually no funds being stored on an exchange. So you initiate a trade, say, Bitcoin Cash to Ethereum, and it says, please input your Ethereum address, and it can be like a hardware wallet or whatever, and you just send Bitcoin Cash to them, and then boom, your Ethereum arrives. So you don't actually have to screw around with depositing to the exchange and waiting for like X amount of confirmations and stuff like this.
More like atomic swaps.
Yeah, kind of. It is still going through the third party, so this is kind of centralized in that regard, but at least you're not storing the coin on the exchange. It's just going to them, and then you're immediately getting the other asset as soon as like they've had their confirmation. So yeah, this is really good, and they're adding more features all the time. It's still kind of like in beta, I think, but basically, yeah, anyone can sign up and make an account at this point in time, as far as I'm aware.
Is that from bitcoin.com as well?
That's from Andreas Brecken. He was like an engineer at Kraken Exchange, but now he's doing his own stuff. So if you want to obfuscate the origin of your transactions on Bitcoin Cash, this is possible with something called Cash Shuffle. So as it says here, it's a decentralized coin mixing protocol, and it actually mixes your UTXOs with that of other participants who are also using the Cash Shuffle. And this is done in a completely trustless manner. I've also got an explainer video that we commissioned a while ago which explains this really well, so I'll play that. But it's only supported by the Electron Cash wallet at the moment. This is probably the best one available on desktops because it's got a lot of cool features, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. But they are adding this to the very popular bitcoin.com wallet, which is available on mobile devices. So as soon as that happens, that's really going to be game changing, because every user who's got a mobile phone will be, and storing coins on there, they'll be autonomously shuffling their transactions with that of other users. And this is helping create that fungibility that's so important for the Bitcoin UTXOs. They're working on it at the moment, so it's probably due in another month or two, I would say. So I will show this video.
Cash Shuffle is a new tool that brings increased privacy to Bitcoin Cash. Using Cash Shuffle, 5 participants cooperatively build a Bitcoin transaction that mixes or shuffles their coins, making it harder for outsiders to determine your transaction history using blockchain analysis. Not even the other participants in the shuffle know which of the shuffled coins is yours. This process is entirely automated by wallets with Cash Shuffle support, but here's how it works under the hood. Alice, Bob, Carol, Dave, and Eve are shuffling their coins. Alice encrypts her secret Bitcoin address using encryption keys provided by all of the other shufflers. First Eve's, then Dave's, then Carol's, and finally Bob's. This multi-layered encryption of her address is then sent as a message to the next user who can decrypt the top layer, Bob. Bob decrypts the message, which leaves Alice's secret address still encrypted by Carol's, Dave's, and Eve's keys, and then encrypts his own secret address using those same keys, Eve's, then Dave's, and then Carol's. He sends both encrypted addresses in random order along to Carol, who can now decrypt their top layers, but can't tell whose is whose. That process is repeated for each remaining participant. Each time, a shuffler removes a layer of encryption from the messages they receive and adds a new message to the group, encrypted with the remaining shuffler's keys. the last shuffler, Eve, will receive every other participant's address, encrypted with only her key. She then decrypts all the addresses, adds her own to the list, randomizes the order one more time, and announces the list of addresses for all other shufflers to see. The shuffle transaction can now be constructed without anyone knowing which addresses belong to which other participants. This entire process is 100% trustless. None of the participants ever have to trust a third party with their private keys or put their coins at risk. Increasing your privacy on Bitcoin Cash.
So that's basically it. I will demo how this works because it's actually a lot easier
CashShuffle.com to learn more.
than you may think, because you don't need to do anything. So this is a Bitcoin Cash wallet in Electron Cash. That's the wallet name. And I've sent some funds here earlier. And basically, at the moment, it's saying that this cash shuffle feature is disabled, but I will go in here and enable it. So now this is on. There's like half a Bitcoin Cash in there right now, and there was 3 unspent transaction outputs. So now it's already shuffling 2 of them at the moment. And basically what it does is it puts you into a pool with the 5 other users that the video mentioned. And as soon as the 5 slots are filled, then it can go and shuffle those coins. And there is different tiers. So you'll see here at the top, there's like like over 100 Bitcoin Cash or 10 Bitcoin Cash or 1 Bitcoin Cash and so forth. And depending on how much you've got to shuffle, you'll automatically go into one of these. And basically you don't need to do anything except leave the wallet open in the background on your computer. And then this is obfuscating the origin of your funds and things like this. So that is a really important privacy tool that is now available here.
Can you just go back to that screen? What are the other denominations that it uses? Does it actually use like specific, or what you had before? So you can only send in those specific denominations, right?
At the moment, because like it's only relatively new, you can see that like this is right now. So as soon as it reaches 5, it'll go through and shuffle.
Right.
Every time it reaches 5. So basically it's like just waiting in a queue until there's 5 people and then it goes ahead.
So if I'm going to send like 123 BCH, I have to send 100, 3 UTXOs, one with 100, one with 20, one with 3, right?
No, you don't need to. You can just send the whole lot to this wallet and it will automatically do this.
Right, but does it break it down like the UTXO specific?
Well, if it's over, like if it's a lot, like maybe 300 or something, I tested a large amount like that the other day, and it may be difficult because like this group, there's a lot of money and maybe it may not be full every day. But if you break it down and like send lots of 10 Bitcoin Cash, like a number of different transactions, it's breaking it down into smaller UTXOs, and then you can actually easily get into these smaller groups as well, and that may speed things up. This wallet is really good. I can show you another interesting feature here, but basically you can actually send Bitcoin Cash from this wallet to a mobile phone. So you don't need an internet connection or anything on the phone. It just needs to be like a mobile number, and it actually is supported in pretty much all countries. So all you have to do is type in, the service is called CoinText, and it allows sending of Bitcoin Cash. I think they added support for a few other currencies as well, but you can send it over SMS, and this is involving a third-party custodian, but it's still cool. So basically you type in here CoinText and then the number. So this is my number. But yeah, basically it immediately comes through on your phone. I did a YouTube video on this showing it off the other day. And from there, you can then go and send it from your phone to a real Bitcoin wallet. You just have to say, like, send X amount to, and then paste the Bitcoin Cash address, and it'll go through immediately there. And they do charge a small fee, but like this is pretty good for people who don't have an internet connection, for example. And that doesn't require any KYC. So.
Does it have a limit?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. They don't have any limits.
It's not an amount limit.
No, because it's not dealing with like US dollars or anything like this. It's just Bitcoin. So whatever you send there, it's your money anyway. So you can send that on again. It just depends how much Bitcoin Cash you have, I guess. So that's it for like the privacy part of things. That's like pretty much everything you need to know. You can like receive Bitcoin Cash anonymously, basically, obfuscate the origin of funds, and we also showed how to buy and sell it anonymously. But another interesting thing is that the Bitcoin Cash growth in Australia is accelerating really fast, and this was even happening during the bear market. So what we've seen in recent years is that the adoption of BTC and other coins, but particularly BTC, which had established merchant adoption, many companies have been dropping support for this because basically if you're like a pub accepting this payment method, nobody wants to pay a $5 fee to buy a $5 beer, for example. There was Steam, Dell, Expedia, Microsoft all accepting BTC, and they dropped support for this in the last couple of years when the fees really went up because not many people are using it to spend anymore. But what we see now is that this adoption growth is exploding on Bitcoin Cash like it originally was with Bitcoin in the earlier years. And this is because it's fast, reliable, and inexpensive to transact. So if you're a business owner and you start accepting this, you are actually able to avoid payment processor fees and the fees of like Visa and MasterCard, for example, and they can be up to like 3.5% sometimes. So if you're a coffee shop or another small business like that, and you're doing heaps of turnover and small transactions, you're probably losing a lot of money with the Visa and MasterCard fees. But if you do it all in this, then there's none of that. And this is a benefit that many business owners are seeing and why they are starting to accept this. So I can actually show the full map here of Australia, which is one of the leading places now in the world for Bitcoin Cash growth. And this is actually all centered around Townsville in particular. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I moved there recently because of this. So they've got a lot of businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash up in North Queensland, as you can see here. And then as I zoom out more, you can see that Brisbane is less than half of the adoption up north. And then even zooming out further, Australia is doing a really good job in comparison to other areas around the world. And in particular in Australia, it's worth noting that the businesses here, they're basically all in control of their own wallets. They have private keys. They're not using some third-party service through which they're accepting crypto. Like in this area in Europe here, I know that this massive number is because some point-of-sale system decided to add it, but it's all going through a third party. They're not real Bitcoin wallets or merchants, I would say, but down here it definitely is. And I think at this point, it is safe to say that this adoption has now surpassed that of the other, what was previously the leading cryptocurrency point of sale system. It was Travel by Bit. This has now surpassed their adoption, and actually a lot of businesses around Australia that were accepting them have now dropped support. And this is done for a number of reasons. So in particular, they've been dropping that one because they support multiple different currencies in the interface. And this has been really confusing for businesses and their staff in particular. A lot of businesses, as you're probably aware, they turn over staff all the time. And when these old ones are gone, they get new ones in, and these ones have to be retrained and everything. And they have to learn like the names of the different currencies and the abbreviations and the ticker symbols and all that. And this has caused lots of issues and caused a lot of them to drop support. Also the fact that it doesn't support Bitcoin Cash, which is being used as a currency. For some reason, they support a bunch of coins that are not meant to be used as a currency on a point of sale system where they're expecting people to spend. So that's what has led to this ultimately. But in Australia, the ones that are doing Bitcoin Cash now, all they need to do is go to the App Store and get a free app. This is how easy it is to onboard. So primarily these businesses they've got a point of sale system device, might be like an iPad or something they've been given from Uber Eats or one of these other delivery companies. So there may be existing infrastructure. If there's not existing infrastructure, we've been setting up a lot of people with these pretty inexpensive Android tablets. This is like a Lenovo Tab E8, and they're like $130, but if you buy them in bulk, it's a lot cheaper. And we've been setting up heaps of people with those and like giving them out for free. And they just then install the point of sale app called the Bitcoin Cash Register, which the business owner can then link to a real wallet on their phone, which the funds get relayed to. So on the point of sale system, there is no private keys and no funds being stored on there. This is all going, all the funds to the business owner's phone. So this is a lot more secure. The staff don't have to, they can't, there's no chance of them being able to steal any funds if you don't know what they're doing. And like say if someone breaks into your business and they steal the point of sale device, well then you don't lose anything because it's all on your personal phone. So this is what's going on in a lot of places, and it seems to be pretty effective. This tablet is like really inexpensive, and it's basically all you need to run these simple apps. And really all it is that people will then go to the business and say, I want to pay with Bitcoin Cash, and they're like, sure. And they open the device, and all they have to deal with on the screen is a keypad where they put in the cost of the item. So there's none of this screwing around with selecting multiple different coins. They're just using the best one for the job. And then it generates the QR code, boom, you send through your transaction, and that's it. It's gone directly to the business owner's phone. So got a video here which demonstrates this. So this was just on my Twitter page. So one guy, he started accepting Bitcoin Cash in the Fortitude Valley train station. This is where this was filmed. And 3 weeks after he started accepting it, like I told some people to go there, not many, but I wasn't even in town, so I didn't go and spend there beyond this transaction, which you see here. But he did over $500 of sales, and that was like 45 separate transactions or so. So basically this is, we've seen this in a number of locations now, that as soon as they start accepting Bitcoin Cash, there's actually an influx of business. And even one guy, he started accepting it, and this wasn't advertised everywhere, and he was getting a few random customers coming through, and, oh, you accept this, and then he was paying with this. So, but in that video, we demonstrated this point of sale system running on that device there, and it's pretty simple. Another thing that is going on with many of the Bitcoin Cash merchants in Australia is that a company that I'm involved with is underwriting these merchants. So that's actually my website, bitcoinbch.com. And we have a lot of people who are wanting to buy Bitcoin Cash that are putting up funds to buy Bitcoin Cash. And we are using those funds then to go and purchase Bitcoin Cash that is going through businesses that do not want to hold it. So they can accept it, and they get the benefit of the extra business, and we get the benefit of being able to spend there as Bitcoin Cash users, and they don't have to deal with holding the coin or like dealing with any volatility or anything like this. So basically, for the people who are acquiring new Bitcoin Cash, they don't have to go to an exchange. They don't have to deal with any exchange fees and things like this. They are buying it at the exact market rate, and it's the same for the business owners. They don't have to go sell to an exchange. And there are no fees charged on this by us. This is like purely done for helping to grow adoption. So yeah, this is like proven to be really effective. The other group that had a point of sale system, Travel by Bit, what they do is they have not worked out that this is a sustainable method of running such systems, and they are sending all their funds to cryptocurrency exchanges to sell. And because of this, there is like a spread and fees involved with selling on exchanges, and they actually put this fee onto the customers that are purchasing goods and services at the businesses that have their point of sale system. So you may have noticed, I've noticed for sure, that sometimes I've seen it be between 2.5% to 3.5% extra on top of the cost of my item, and this is because that business model relies on selling on exchanges. So it's proven to be sustainable, and this is really helping to grow adoption in Australia. But there is KYC required by Australian law for the businesses that are wanting to be underwritten. So we have an AFSL license, and they just have to basically verify their identity with us, and then they're good to go. They get Australian dollars in the bank account, the exact cost of the item.
How do you KYC? Like, what process do you go through?
Well, at the moment, there's a range of different forms they need to fill in depending on what type of company they are. So some businesses are like a trust, some are proprietary limited, some are like individual beneficial owners. So it really depends on that. But this is actually, I had suggested that we should fork the point of sale app because it's open source, and then basically have our own custom app where they have a form and they just have to put all this information into the form, the KYC stuff, and then they get access to underwriting automatically once we've verified them. And this is just going to like help automate it all and help grow adoption as well even further.
And they fill it out with pen, and then you data entry everything they
Well,
gave you in what software?
this is what's happening now, but I suggested that it should be automated because then it will speed up the adoption that's going on.
It's a trust, you need a copy of it.
Yeah, of course.
How big is your liquidity pool to underwrite the transactions?
Oh, we've got plenty. Like I just, we're also I'm organising a conference at the moment, and I just met with travel agent today, and I said, we need you to facilitate all the flights, accommodation, and like car rental and any other tourism activities that these attendees are going to need, and we will buy all the Bitcoin Cash from you. So yeah, we can do like hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is, there are people that want to buy this much Bitcoin Cash. We can deploy hundreds of thousands of dollars right now. So they want to buy Bitcoin Cash, and if we're getting more spending of Bitcoin Cash for stuff like travel, well, that's a lot of money, and that's an easier way for those people to enter their position in Bitcoin Cash.
And do the merchants get the underwriting at the time, the price that they actually entered at the point of sale app, or do you do it during the day close of business?
Nope, the exact price they enter in, they will get that amount. And that's what the rate that the person underwriting is buying at. But this is all going to be, this is all automated now. So the system, the software which is doing this is like, it's launching right now.
So do you actually get access to the exact number they entered, or do you do like a calculation based on the timestamp of the market price?
Yeah, it is automatically going and pulling the price, but it is using the same source as the point of sale app.
Right.
So this is how it's exactly the same.
Right.
So yeah, this was like in testing this week, and now it's launching next week. But at the moment,
How much does it cost and pays for it?
who?
KYC.
What do you mean?
Pulling reports, data entry,
Doesn't cost anything.
doesn't cost anything.
We develop.
Verify someone that no one charges you a cent.
I'm not charging anyone a cent because it's done purely to expand adoption. Huh?
Who's paying?
Paying for what?
KYC.
We're paying. Well, there's nothing. There's no cost. Like it's just our time and efforts in like going through and verifying people. But this is benefiting me because I have a position in this asset, and if the adoption and economic activity on the blockchain increases, then the value goes up.
I think what he's asking is that if you validate a driver's license, that usually is a transaction back to main road, transport or something.
Right. Yeah. If you look up, if you do like ABN lookups and things like this, it could be like $30. So we have been doing some of this, yeah. And we've also been like supplying people with free tablets like that, and that's just coming from us. And also actually in Townsville, like many of the businesses who have been accepting this for a while now, one restaurant in particular does like thousands of dollars a month, like in the tens of thousands of dollars. It's like the best restaurant in town. It's pretty expensive, but yeah, that one and like other ones that are doing really well, they are also donating some funds to like a community war chest to go and do this kind of stuff as well. And that's their own decision too. So
You got a draft on how Bitcoin Cash is going? Well, you got one of those.
what type, what data?
Yeah,
looking at?
Yeah, just the price.
Yeah, the price hasn't been really exploding of late, but I expect this to happen at some point in the future, particularly in the long term, yeah. Because basically this has all the same characteristics as Bitcoin did years ago before it was essentially crippled to go and sell this other company's products, which no one has actually decided they want to use. They've gone to other coins instead of using things like Lightning Network and Blockstream Liquid and stuff like this. So that's kind of what's going on.
So do you have any sort of projection of how long it will take for bigger companies to adopt this? Like if one wanted to buy a car,
Yeah.
how do you foresee that?
There's a Mazda dealership in Townsville that is accepting Bitcoin Cash. And a guy bought a new Ute through there. It was like $40,000 or something. And they were underwritten. So, yeah. That's what I told you about. You're like, I want to buy a new car. I was like, well, you can come up to North Queensland. They got Subaru and Mazda. So the guy, he bought it with Bitcoin Cash and then they were paid Australian dollars. But this is a good way to get more businesses to start accepting this and allowing people to spend it. And it's like a win-win scenario for everyone because better rates and you don't have to deal with exchanges and liquidity and things like this. It's also a bit of an issue sometimes, particularly on Australian exchanges if you're trying to buy a lot. So, and this is also averaging out the entry price depending on like how much money is actually coming through this system. Yeah, but the activity is increasing. Like there's a lot of stuff going on now, like the travel agent stuff for this event that is probably going to see a lot of money coming through. Which brings me to that topic. Yeah, we are organising a conference in Townsville in September. The reason why is because this is, as I showed before, an area where there's so much merchant adoption. And some people here have actually been there and experienced it already. But the idea is to have a cryptocurrency conference where you can just go there, pay for the ticket, pay for everything with the cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin Cash. And some of these other crypto conferences you see, they don't even have a payment method to buy tickets with crypto, which is ridiculous. On our website, there's no option to buy with fiat currency, but I will be adding that later and people have to pay a higher price if they want to do PayPal and stuff like this. So that is the idea behind that. Yeah, they can come there and flights, accommodation, car rental, everything paid Bitcoin Cash. And also if they need to go out and eat, drink, get your laundry done, they can do that all with Bitcoin Cash there. So this is like also going to be a cool holiday type thing as well, in addition to the conference. So yeah, 4th and 5th of September, this is happening in Townsville. And we do have a lot of good speakers lined up at the moment. So I'll just have a look at this. So yeah, this is the website. That's a video that I did on YouTube. But yeah, we've got a lot of big names here. There's like, this guy's really good. He's a really good key opinion leader on Bitcoin Cash. He probably only really entered the Bitcoin Cash space about a year ago, but he's built some cool stuff in the area of like web wallets and like tokens on Bitcoin Cash, and also a lot of other developer tools. So he's good to have. This is Amaury Sachet, the guy that basically created the Bitcoin Cash client when it split away from BTC. So this was the dude that basically saved the dream of peer-to-peer electronic cash when things were going south with the SegWit and limited block size cap. There's also the president of Bitcoin Unlimited. They're another Bitcoin Cash client. And then, yeah, we've got a number of local people as well that are going to be speaking here. There's like some top experts in North Queensland that are dealing with the areas of like compliance and making sure everything is done legally, and also in the area of accounting. So these guys have been dealing with previously Bitcoin and then Bitcoin Cash since like 2011 in their business. And they're like the top experts in the country on this subject matter and how to deal with accepting Bitcoin Cash as a method of payment and how you put that through your books and stuff like that. So this is what they'll be explaining at the event, and it's got a heavy focus on adoption and increasing economic activity on the blockchain through real business use cases. So there will be some other big announcements there. There's like a few unknown people on here, and they are based in Townsville, and some of these companies have literally in the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of seed funding for some projects they're working on. And they've been basically in stealth mode for many years, and it's starting to come out and be revealed. So there are some projects that I know are going to be massively increasing the economic activity on the blockchain for Bitcoin Cash, and this is very valuable. It's increasing the value of the coin itself. So this is the venue. Yeah, you can buy tickets on here with Bitcoin Cash. This is probably the only cryptocurrency conference I know of that is offering Bitcoin Cash helicopter scenic tours. So at the event, there will be a helicopter landing with big Bitcoin Cash branding. And basically in the video above, you can see exactly what it'll be doing. That's included in the video. So yeah, and the tickets are pretty competitively priced compared to some of the other major crypto conferences like the one in New York, Consensus, which is an absolute ripoff. Basically, this one's not even for profit. This is just trying to cover the expenses of the event itself and yeah, add value to the ecosystem. But all you need to do is come on here and then you can just scan this, boom, buy a ticket, and that's it.
That easy, is it? So like,
Yeah, we set up our own payment gateway there. So like as soon as you pay there, I get it on my phone in like a wallet I can see come through. It's too easy. No BitPay or anything like that. So yeah, that's that one. Go check it out if you want to go to this. It should be a fun event.
so that you trust in US dollar.
Yeah. I was thinking about changing that actually, but yeah, if you click on it, it updates with like the current rate for that amount. And yeah, that's basically the end of this one. It was just a short one, but it covered a lot of valuable information, I think, particularly with regards to privacy and just an update on the ongoing growth of Bitcoin Cash, particularly in Australia. So if you need to contact me, that's my email. On Telegram, I recommend joining the BCH Australia group. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there and people sharing stories of like adoption and spending Bitcoin Cash in Australia. I also run another website, CoinSpice.io. That's a news website. So go there for not fake news, because most of the crypto news outlets are fake news. This is like the real news. And actually something I've noticed is many of these outlets, they completely suppress any kind of positive information about Bitcoin Cash, and they will take any story that they can even slightly twist to make it look negative, and that's all they comment on. They never comment on anything like the cash shuffle or local.bitcoin.com. So this is another reason why we created this media outlet. This has been going for a year now, but it's grown pretty substantially since then. And yeah, that's about it. So if you had any other questions, I can answer those for you.